Okay, for lesson 2, we are going to learn some of the stitches. I like to teach the stitches before I teach reading the pattern. That way it's easier for you to remember what you're reading and what the abbreviations stand for, because you actually know what they are, so you understand the abbreviations more. So we have our ball of yarn again, and here's our end. We are going to make our slip knot again. And put our hook into it. And in lesson 1 we learned the chain stitch. All of those were called chains, and it's a chain stitch. So we are going to make a bow, a very simple bow to put on our hat we're going to make later. So first we're going to chain 10. So we count them: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, this is the part I said would be difficult if we didn't have our uniform chain in lesson 1. So we have our uniform chain here, lesson 1, and we have counted 10 of them. Now, we are going to turn, is what that's called when we go the other way, and we have 10 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You count each set of 2, or on the bottom you can count the 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have these. It's important to know where the stitch is, that this is one stitch, because if you start going into somewhere else, you're not going to have the same amount each time, especially if you're not counting. So we have 10 stitches, and we are going to go in to, not the first one, which is here, we're going to go into the second one. So if you flip it over, we're not going to go into that first loop, we're going to go into the second one. So I did it from the bottom, and I'm flipping it over. We're now inside that second loop. Now, from there we're going to do it just like we did a chain stitch. We're going to put it over, and we're going to pull it through, but we're only going to pull it through our work, our chain. So we pulled it through, and now we have 2 on our hook. Now we're going to put the yarn over again, and this time we're going to pull it through both of them. That is called a single crochet. So we are going to go into the very next one now. And again, you put the yarn over one time and pull it through our work. That's it, we just pulled it through our work. And then we yarn over and we pull it through the whole thing. So we just pulled it through the whole thing a single time. That makes the single crochet. Now we're going to go into the next one. Put the yarn over, through our chain, and this is the part that makes the stitch now. We go through what's on the hook. We're going to do that all the way across. We started with 10, but we did not go into that first stitch. So altogether, we're going to have 9 single crochet at the end. Flip it over, go into the loop, flip it back over, we're in the stitch. Now we're coming to the end. There's one left. See, there's only one loop left. Go into that, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through our work. Now you can see the single crochet. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them, and then our yarn. When we get to the end of the row, typically to bring the height up to where our next row is going to be, you're going to have to do a chain or 2 or 3 depending on the stitch you're using. We're using single crochet, which is the shortest, so we are just going to yarn over one time and pull it through the loop. So we chain 1. Then we turn. Now we're going to go back into these single crochets. It's much easier than going into the chain. You can just go underneath the 2 loops. See the 2 loops? Go underneath them, not all the way through. Not all the way through the whole thing, but into the middle, just underneath the 2 loops. Then put our yarn over, just like before. We pull it through just the work, and then we yarn over, we pull it through both. And then we go into the next one, yarn over, pull it through the work, and then through both loops. Now we're going to do that all the way across till we have 9.
I'm putting batteries in.
Okay.
I need to put the lid back on. But it's stuck.
Since we had 9 on the previous row, we again want 9 because we are not adding any stitches. So if we do not have 9, we were not going into the 2 loops somewhere. We went and added a stitch, or we didn't go into one of them. We should have 9 altogether. Now it's getting taller. We still have those same sets of 2 loops on the top. And we still have to chain 1 at the end to turn. Now, this row, I'm going to show you a variation of the single crochet. One of the options sometimes in a pattern is to go into the back loop only or front loop only. There's a loop here and there's a loop here. We talked about there are 2 loops. To go into the back loop, we just go into the middle and come out the back, so we're only grabbing the back one. To do front loop only, we just go into the front one and come out the middle. And then we work the single crochet or double crochet or whatever you're doing the same. We're going to continue with our single crochet. We're going to do it in the back loop only. So we're going to go in the back, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull it through both, just like before. And we're going to do that all the way across. So we're only going to grab the back loop, pull it through, and then pull it through the whole work. And we're going to do that all the way across. Again, we did not add or subtract any stitches. So when we are done, we should still have 9 stitches. Even if we're just going into the back loop, we should still only have 9 stitches. Seven, 8, yarn over, pull through the whole thing. If you look at our work, before it was nice and flat. Now by going in the back loop only, we see these front loops, which gives it almost a little rib in the middle. Now we did 2 rows, they're called, and then we did a row of back loop only. So we're going to chain 1, and we're going to turn. This time we're going to do a regular single crochet into both loops. Again, there should be 9 when we finish, because that is how many were in the previous rows, and we have not increased or decreased at all. So in, pull it through, yarn over, pull through, 8, and into the end, pull it up, 9. So we did 2 rows of single crochet, 1 row of back loop only, and then another row. So we've got that back loop rib right in the middle. Now we are going to finish off our work. I'm going to show you how to finish off. Let me grab a... Okay, we have our work, our leftover yarn. We are going to cut a couple inches from the end. And now we're going to yarn over, but when we pull it through our loop, we're going to keep pulling until the string comes completely through, and we're going to pull that tight. That's it. We can't unravel it now, like we could before with the chain. Can't unravel it. So we have a nice little rectangle. What we can do with this end is we can weave it in. So just stick our hook in and out, back and forth of a couple stitches, put this string over, and then just pull it through all of the stitches. And then it's hidden inside our work, and we can cut off the excess. We can do the same thing from the bottom. It doesn't matter where your hook goes for this. It can go into any old hole you can find in your work. Put it over, pull it through, cut off that little bit of excess. Now it's all hidden. We have this rectangle, and to make a bow, just like you'd do with a ribbon, we're just going to gather it in the middle. So grab our yarn. We're going to leave a little bit of a tail so we can tie it onto our hat later. Then we're just going to wrap it around several times till it looks the way we like it. I think I need a couple more this direction. Okay, now it's nice and even, like the way it looks. So I'm just going to cut my yarn. Then on the back we have the part we cut, and we have the part where we started. These are the two we're going to use to tie it onto our hat later. But here's our little bow to tie on our hat. We learned single crochet, we learned back loop and front loop only. So if you wanted to make something bigger, you could make a longer chain, go into your single crochet all the way back and forth, however many rows, make a blanket, make a scarf. We made a little bow.